a showroom near you.
You know, when you have conversations about just about anything in life, it seems like there's always a way to bring it back to a local perspective. And that's the case, I think, for our next conversation this morning. This is Lucy Reimer, who is with the Museum Center at 5 Points in Cleveland. This is Julie Mitchell, who is the museum's education programming manager. There we go. So they're encouraging you this morning for a couple of things. One, we're looking ahead to Valentine's Day, Lucy. I'll let you talk about that.
Absolutely.
But before you do, there's also a very special event happening in January, which will have this local tie-in. So I'll let you start though, Lucy. What's the Valentine's event?
Sure. So I know a lot of people like to plan for Valentine's Day in advance. So we have got our next Music Under the Stars concert series is happening on Friday, February 14th, and it is going to be the music of Nat King Cole. So
great.
Some great romantic music for everyone, and it's going to feature one of our local favorite musicians, Jermaine Purifori, who many people recognize because he was in Voices of Lee. He was also on American Idol, and he is doing a variety style show. So we've got a lot of different musicians from Cleveland coming. They're all going to be singing individual songs. They may be singing in groups. They'll all sing together. A few special appearances from some surprise guests, but those tickets are on sale now on our website.
And they will go quickly.
They will go very quickly. We do have a dinner option for the first 60 people to buy tickets. I know we just put those on sale like last night, and we've already sold 11 dinner tickets. So it's going to go very fast. Our executive chef, Kim Frank, is going to be cooking dinner for us.
And this will take place at the Museum Center?
It is. It will take place at the Museum Center. It is inside. I know I always get that question a lot because sometimes we have these concerts in our courtyard, but this one, it is definitely inside.
So what you'll find as we talk this morning is at the Museum Center, it's also the Cultural Center. They could also add on Community Center because it's very much intended to bring people together. So that's the fun of it. But Julie, you're also there to educate and enrich. So let's talk about this event you have coming up featuring a very serious topic, but one that has a local tie.
Yes, our January education program geared more towards our community members is commemorating the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. So definitely a very serious topic, but a very meaningful topic. In January 27th, 1945, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, was when the Soviet Red Army liberated the Auschwitz concentration camp and extermination camp. It was the largest of the camps in the camp series that the Nazis operated. With this 80th anniversary, we decided that it would be nice to not only talk about the liberation of the camp, but to feature one of our Tennessee survivors. And so we actually have joining us Mr. Benno Kimmelman. He is the son of Mira Kimmelman, who was one of the inmates in the Auschwitz concentration camp.
She went on to spend her life in Oak Ridge.
Yes, and
so that's the local tie.
That is where our connection comes in. She lived in Oak Ridge for most of her post-war life, raised her family there, took several at least return trips to Poland to visit places where she had lived, the places where she had been interred. But her story is absolutely amazing. She also spent many of her post-war years educating students about the Holocaust and her experiences. And one of the things that always strikes me about her story is the fact that she talks about the importance of sharing her story, because she knows that once the survivors are gone, it will be up to those of us who heard the stories to keep telling them.
So you're holding her book, actually. It's called Echoes from the Holocaust.
Echoes from the Holocaust.
So if people want to, I'm assuming you're doing this on January 27th.
Yes.
Okay, that's the Liberation Day. So this is not something that you can take part in virtually, even though he will not be here. He's in New York, her son.
Yes.
You have to be present at the Museum Center.
Yes.
Are you doing it at 3 o'clock?
No, we are actually doing it in the evening, sticking with our kind of regular time. The doors will open at 6:30 that evening, and Benno is going to be joining us virtually at 7 p.m. to share his mother's story, as well as, of course, his perspective growing up as a second-generation survivor.
Is it a Q&A, or will he just be talking?
It will be both.
Okay.
He will tell the story, and he will leave time at the end for Q&A. So those joining us at the museum will have the opportunity to ask him questions, and he is eager to answer those.
You know, I told you in the office, I had an opportunity years ago. A woman came to town named Ava Schloss, and she
Yes.
became the posthumous half-sister to Anne Frank. Her mother married Otto Frank. But they were friends together to some degree in Amsterdam. But I had a chance to meet her quite extensively and then interview her. And she also had written a couple of books.
Yeah.
And you think you know things, and then you hear the individual perspective, and it does not leave you.
No.
It does not leave you. And no matter what your walk in life may be, prayerfully nobody will ever have to have that walk.
Right.
But it can encourage you to overcome
Yes.
in your own walk.
Yes. And Mara talks about that, things that happened to her, and the importance of the individual stories, because we look at just the historical side and we look at maybe what is the big picture, but hearing the individual stories is what really helps us piece everything together.
I don't have much time, like 30 seconds, but is this an RSVP? to
You
come?
can purchase
No.
tickets at the door
Okay.
or online at our museumcenter.org website.
And one thing we should mention is there is a special exhibit that will be on display that night.
Okay.
Called Living On, right?
Okay.
Yes.
And it is only on display during
This
the
week.
history lecture
Yes.
that evening. So from 6:30 until it ends about 8:30, 9 o'clock.
So let me share with you the website information, because as you can see, there's a lot going on there no matter where you live. Go to museumcenter.org.
Yes.
Cleveland is the place to be on Inman Street. Hopefully you can make it on the 27th, and then definitely put your dancing shoes on Valentine's Day and come party with
Absolutely.
them. Thank you
Yeah.
both.
Thank you.
I'm Jonathan Lawson, here to tell you about life insurance through the Colonial Penn program. If you're age 50 to 85 and looking to buy life insurance,